the Shan and
Tamara show.
And we're only in Rakiraki because we're heading to Tavua today. But we thought that we might tell you a little bit about what we've seen, or more importantly, what we haven't seen.
Yes, Shan. So it's been interesting because we were last in Nandi, then Suba,
Yeah.
and now in Ra.
Yeah.
And some of the things I haven't seen, Shan, are health centers, the lack of health facilities down here in the western side of Vitilevu. And so far I've just seen, I think it was the Ra Maternity Hospital.
Yeah. And we haven't really seen any sort of health centers in general. There was that one
Just
maternity
one,
health center, but there was also only one dispensary, and even then it looked like it was about to fall apart. So that's a little bit worrying.
It is worrying, especially given the road conditions and
Yeah.
how far like the villages are from each other.
Yes.
So it's a bit worrying if a lady was to be rushed into hospital. Where would the nearest hospital be?
Not to mention, how would she be able to tell someone? Because, I mean, like, the cell phone reception drops a
Yeah.
lot on the way.
Yes.
Not to mention, if you're out in the field or something, there's no one around. And there's just sort of like one road.
And
Everything else is...
transportations.
Yeah, it's really sort of dodgy. Even though a lot is happening around the building of the road, still it's in construction, and you do have to go on really sort of narrow soil sort of roads.
Feeder roads.
It's
sort of
quite scary in a
Yes.
car, particularly in a place where, in the mountains particularly, because that's where you get a lot of rain because the clouds catch over there, and it's bound to wash things down in a way and cause not only damage to vehicles, but also it's just really not safe to drive around there.
Yeah, and did you see, I think we were passing just a bit before we reached Winding Buka, that whole slope. I think it was some sort of quarry or something.
Yeah.
It's a bit worrying.
You always have to worry about things like that. You could damage the soil a little, and it's right next to the river. The road, the entire way, is right next to a river, and a lot of people use that for their livelihoods and probably for transportation as well. You're looking at fuel costs, but also what's the most available thing, and people with
Yes,
disabilities
resources,
all and out.
yeah.
It's interesting, but also you have to worry about how certain things will impact these communities.
And also how you get to see, like, from onwards,
Yeah.
you mostly see women walking back from the plantations,
Yeah.
going up the river in Bilingilis.
Yeah.
It's like interesting to question, where are the men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what also is interesting, it wasn't all bad. It's really beautiful on this side. The maternity clinic has a great view of the sea. It's very clean on this side as well, which is
Yes.
nice to see. The beaches especially.
It's well kept.
Yes.
Very well kept.
And the funniest thing I think we've seen so far was a tire trying to drive a car. No,
And how it was parked.
there was a car
Yeah,
parked on the road,
road.
right in front of
The
a
bus
speed
stop.
bump. It didn't really pull into the bus stop. It was
No,
right in
it
front of the
didn't.
speed bump, and there was a tire
Tire.
sitting in the front seat. So,
Yeah.
so
that is worrying.
that's what we've seen and haven't seen so far. So stay tuned for more of the Shan and
Tamara show.
You're back with
record.
Shan and
Tamara.
thank you so much. We're finally here in Tavua. It's very hot.
Very, very hot.
And this is it cooling down, so we hopefully will survive when we come back in August.
Yes, Shan.
So we talked to the people at the Gold Foundation tomorrow. What are you?
Irene, we spoke to Irene Kumar,
Yep.
and also Arietta and our very own
Fane Lomani.
Fane Lomani. So today was a bit of planning about
Yeah.
the next consultation that will take place early in August.
Yeah,
And we'll have the consultation with the women from Ra
yeah.
and also Mba and Tavua, so that'll be exciting.
So
Super
coming in from a whole lot of places, and we're really excited. It's going to be both our broadcast as well as the consultation will take place at the
Yes.
Gold Foundation's office. So that's really showing how building partnerships is so important.
Exactly.
Because when you are operating out of your base of operations, it's really good to have these sort of connections as well as this sort of partnerships, because they're the ones who identify where the women are coming from. Not to
Exactly.
mention, give us a little bit of grounding with learning from these women, as opposed to coming in and inviting them and feeling like a little
Yes.
kind of like aliens.
And this is also like how they mentioned in GPEC, creating visibility. So this is one way of creating visibility for the Gold Foundation and as well as Family Pacific.
Yep.
Because they mentioned about how Mrs. Irene Kumar mentioned that they do work with women also in the interior in Nandarivatu, and that is like really far.
So we're laying the groundwork to go out to people who not only are separated from the mainstream media, but just basically from everything, not to mention, you know, the town facilities and everything else.
Yes.
So we're really excited, and
Yes, so Tavua is 93.59 kilometers away from Suvashan and 91 kilometers from Nandi and 9 kilometers away from the gold mine in Batukola. And the town boundary is 100 square.
And even then, that's not covering all the people who
No.
use it as a center.
doesn't.
So, you know, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This was the Shan and
Tamara show.
we'll be back with more soon.